Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Is the strongest enterprise are those that constantly evolve. It's no longer the game of how big you are, but now the game is how big your ecosystem is.
Now, but I think this really speaks volume why we're attracted to hang out with one another. Like for example, in CEO Insights Asia, I really like spending time there because I'm surrounded with like-minded people. So,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. I am Chris, the founder and CEO of Morningstar Network. Good morning, good morning. Today's topic is Beyond Luck, where the key objective is to install one principle that leaders as architects of great enterprises. So yeah, we're gonna learn about being leaders as architects of great enterprises. And just a quick reminder why we do this every Friday at 10 a.m. is we want to install DNA principles that scale organizations. So to all our participants here in Zoom, we have 9,000 participants, and the viewers in Facebook, as what we always say, lipat kayo dito sa Zoom so that you can connect and network with other CEOs. So what we want you to accomplish is that we want you to gain or get one insight, even at least one insight that you can immediately apply and execute in your organization, in your day-to-day operations. So yeah, that's the reason why we do this every Friday at 10 a.m. So the theme for this month is all about focusing in being a multiplier, where we expand life-changing impact in an ever-increasing measure. We will talk about functioning in systems, scaling in numbers, and moving in teams. So a quick overview for the topics for this month. Last week, we talked about Beyond the Walls, where we learned about the importance of our leadership beyond the walls, that we are the stewards of our organizations. And today, we're going to talk about Beyond Luck. And on week 3, next week, we're going to talk about Beyond Talent. And week 4, Beyond the Myth. And the last week for April, we're going to talk about Beyond Entrepreneurship. Ayan. So a few announcements before we start. Circle meetings are happening every Tuesdays at 11 a.m. So now we have a new circle. It's with the legendary BK Rivera and Ayen Sabaytan of Sellers Hub. If you want to join this circle meeting, please sign up on the links that Carrie will provide on the chat box. So as you see, every Tuesdays, hindi lang isang circle meeting yung nangyayari. Simultaneously, multiple circle multipliers are happening. So if you want to sign up and join any of these circles, please sign up sa link na isesend ni Keril sa chat box. Another announcement, in Bounce Back Philippines, there will be a free parang webinar or something that you can learn with hero coach Michelle Carpio. She will talk about how to optimize your e-com store to reach your target monthly conversion rate. This is gonna happen on Wednesday, April 13, 2022 at 3 p.m. You can also sign up. Please, Keril, send the link to sign up for Bounce Back Academy. Ayan. So many values being added. Hindi pa tayo nag-start. And ito, isa pa, matinik. Matinik, power. Na-invite si Sir Fa to become a speaker for him to talk about what exactly is network marketing. So, hindi po namin kayo ini-invite mag-network marketing. Naimbitahan lang po si Sir Pa na mag-speaker in Max International, the glutathione company. So yan, you can watch him later at 2:30 p.m. It's happening today via Zoom and Facebook. Ayan. Okay, Beyond Luck. Are you feeling lucky today? Wow, Las Vegas. Are you feeling lucky today? So yan. We're gonna listen to the executive advisor of CEO Insights Asia, the legendary mentor, the CEO's whisperer. I want to introduce to you to our speaker for today, Sir Fa. Floor is yours.
Alright, good morning sa ating 12,000 participants for today and for those who are watching in Facebook Live. Shout out to. Nakita ko dito sa chat box, nandito si Ruel. Yan, welcome. Welcome to CEO Insights Asia's Executive Series. At saka si Jap, yung kaibigang oso natin, nanonood ngayon. We are encouraging you to participate sa Zoom meeting para masaya naman ang usapan natin. Thank you, Ma'am Chris, ang isa pang mas matinik sa atin. Yan, founder and CEO of M-Star Network. At kung ano-ano pang mga ginagawa niya, dami niluluto niyang mga aktibidades ngayon. Alright, so we'll talk about Beyond Luck for today. Agenda na tayo. Yan, so ano ba mga pag-uusapan natin in the coming hour? Yan. We'll do a conversation starter. So si BK nag-message siya sa akin at may med-cert pa. Okay, may med-cert pa. Huwag daw muna siyang tawagin at masakit ang lalamunan. Ayan, di ba? So we're praying for good health. Yan. Kay Sir BK at saka kay Ma'am Ayen. Hopefully okay tayo dyan sa Seller Sub. At saka kita mo naman yung picture nila kanina, parang billionaire circle yung galawan nun, no? So please, if you're a couple, you're partners, and you're starting a business, whether in e-com or real-time, magandang magpa-mentor or maging part ng circle nila BK Rivera at saka ganun din kila Comizen, sila Sir Eman at si Ma'am Tina. Okay, so conversation starter muna tayo. I'm just gonna ask a question and then we'll ask a few, siguro mga 3 or 4 to interact with us. Then we'll talk about defining luck. What do we mean when we say luck? Diba? Para align tayo sa definition yan. Then we'll talk about the problem. Ano ba ang problema sa swerte? Diba? Pag naniwala ba sa swerte, suswertehin tayo. Diba? Or pag naniwala sa swerte, huwag tayo maniwala ron dahil mamalasin tayo. Okay, so we'll talk about the problem with luck. And then we'll talk about the concept of time telling versus clock building. And then we'll get practical. I'm not sure if nandito si Coach RD, so I will be mentioning him a bit mamaya. Alright, sige. So, conversation starter muna tayo sa 12,000 participants natin. Oy, andito si Sir FM. Good morning, sir. Ikaw na unahin ko. I'll pick siguro mga 3 or 4. Mabilisan lang to. Just name a company that you consider successful in a short explanation why. Diba? Tapos dun sa mga participants na nandito at nandun sa Facebook, you can chat. What company you consider successful, chat it down. Sige. So, Sir FM, may I ask you, para sa'yo. Oh, yan din si Coach RD. Yan. Wala ata. Going once. O, si Miss Mel na lang. By default, Miss Mel, name a company you consider successful.
Sir Fa, alam mo na isasagot ko dyan.
Ano yon? Sige.
Siyempre, sa ngayon, ang apple of the eye ko, Bose Coffee.
Yon, Bose Coffee. Okay. So, quick why do you consider them successful?
Well, they were able to sustain at least more than 2 decades, going 3 decades na sila. They're on their 25th year. Tapos, they were able to conquer not just Philippines, but other countries. Diba? And they were able to, be at par with foreign franchises of coffee branches here.
Oh, sige, thank you. Coach FM, okay ka na ba? Pwede ka na? Nakita ko nag-unmute Hindi ata. Sige, Miss Mel, pick the next one. Yung iba pwedeng mag-chat. Chat nyo, ano yung company na you consider successful? Si Miss Mel, ang pipiliin ay si
Miss Princess.
Yon.
New.
Si Ma'am Princess Ann Colado of Sellers Hub. Pwede ka ba? Yun. So, ma'am.
Po, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, para po sa akin, kino-consider kong company successful is the SM.
SM, yes.
NBC, no? I think kasi sobrang until now, maganda pa rin yung tinatakbo nila and patagal ng patagal is palapit na sila ng palapit sa goal nila. Wherein nakuha ko yung SRBK Ang goal nila is I don't know if every 20 minutes is may SM ka makikita from time to time. Then 60 years na sila ngayon, Surfa. And yun madali lang kasing sabihin na successful ka in a span of years, pero yung 60 years, I think ibang usapan na yan.
Yeah, okay. Sige, last one. Pick the next one, ma'am.
Sige sir, hanap ako, no? Ganti na lang tayo.
Sorry, hindi ko
Sige.
masasagot sa Facebook, ha? Nasa Zoom tayo. Sige, ma'am, go.
Mark Paez.
Si Mark Paez. Yan.
Hello po, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Mhm.
Para sa akin po is yung sample lang is mga pharmacy, yung like yung mga nakikita natin.
Mhm.
Sa akin convenient siya eh. Tapos sino namang hindi pupunta sa ganung bagay, lalo na
Mercury, di ba? Generics, Watson, ng mga pharmacy natin. Alright, sige. So, for the rest, sa mga nag-chat, ang daming nag-chat. Sellers Hub, we consider Sellers Hub successful. Di ba? Lagay nyo na MStarNet, Gramworth, di ba? So, shout out kay kaibigan natin si Bose Coffee founder, si Steve, no? Steve Benitez. Hope you're listening. Okay, next question. Para to answer for all, please chat your answer. Yes or no lang naman. Diba? Para may engagement tayo. Here's the next question. Okay? So, can you say these companies, eto si SM, sila Watson, sino pa ba? Si Mercury Drug, si Steve Benitez of Bose Coffee. Yan. Can you consider this company that they are successful entirely because they're lucky? Yes or no? O, di ba? Lahat, no. Okay, that's a dumb question. Di ba? That's an idiotic question. Of course, the answer is no. They are not successful entirely simply because they're lucky. Di ba? Si Apple, maswerte lang, kaya magaling yan. Si Facebook, di ba? Si Elon Musk, maswerte lang yan, kaya magaling yan. That's insulting for people who are building business and successful business for the longest time. That's considered insulting, di ba? So, mamaya pag-uusapan natin why, at maganda nag-touch si Meldo, no, at saka si Princess, why these companies are not considered lucky only. That's why they're successful. So, the material that we use dito ay itong mga librong to. Ayan, Becoming Steve Jobs, Great by Choice. You've heard me mention that. I want to highlight the third one, which is The Minimalist Entrepreneur. It's written by Sahil Lavinia. Ayan, di ba hindi ko pa alam yung pangalan niya. Right? And this book, I've been posting about this in our Circle Multiplier groups. I've been posting about it in my Facebook. And it's a book na it's written by an unknown author. Kasi in my industry, you have to be on the edge, laging on the bleeding edge of management innovations. You have to be reading mga Harvard Business Reviews, yung mga Stanford write-ups, mga Wharton, and mga so on. So hindi ko napapansin na may mga magaganda palang libro na hindi written by Jim Collins, for example, sa Stanford professor. Si Morten Hansen is a faculty sa Apple University. So itong Minimalist Entrepreneur, if there are books that I wish I read when I was starting my business, this is one of them. The first one's Built to Sell, and this is the second one. It has helped me immensely right now na kaya pala sabi ko, kaya pala ganun yung ginagawa ko. It's because of this book. And I strongly recommend you read it. Nag-send na ako ng ebook link copy para dito. If you want a copy, just message the page or message me and I'll send you a copy. Yan. So read this book. Okay. So let's define luck. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin natin when we say luck? Luck, according to the dictionary, sa kaibigan natin si Google, sabi niya, success or failure apparently brought by, pakichat yung highlighted, underlined word. Pakichat nga. Sabi dyan, it is success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own action. Okay? And since we're talking about building great enterprise, set aside muna natin yung failure. Let's talk about success by luck or success through luck. It means here na pag success through luck, we did not cause it. Hindi natin ginawa. Hindi ayon sa ating mga ginawa kaya tayo naging successful. It is purely by chance. Swerte lang talaga. Swerte, panahon. Kaya naging successful ang isang tao. And not because of the things that we did. And when I was preparing for this material, alam natin mahirap i-separate ang success through luck. Mahirap ito i-divorce sa mga nanalo sa loto. Di ba? Yan ang ano natin, yan ang ultimate example of success through luck. Diba? This is the perfect example. Yung mga nanalo sa Lotto. And while I was preparing for this, ang daming horror stories. You don't want to read what happened with the lottery winners who went bankrupt. Some have been murdered. Some are they didn't end well after nilang manalo. No, there are a lot of lottery winners, sure, na naging maayos ang buhay, but there are also horror stories. And I just want to focus on two as a case study. Sige. So, here's what I discovered, by the way, no, that there was one write-up. Sabi niya around 70% of lottery winners, they waste away their winnings. And ito according to Consumer Federal Protection Bureau. Tama ba? I forgot the CFPC. Ayan. Basta ganon. Okay. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yan. Lottery winners are more likely to declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years than the average American. And nearly a third of winners eventually declare bankruptcy. Horror stories that we read about with the lottery winners. Okay. So, one of the examples is David Lee Edwards. Anong kwento niya? So 5 years after Kentucky resident David Lee Edwards won 27 million jackpot, 5 years, he was penniless and living in a storage shed with his wife. Just 5 years. Diba? And mas when we go into detail, mas nakakalungkot yung kwento niya. Okay? They blew 3 million in the first 3 months. Wow, 1 million a month. Diba? And we're talking dollars here. $1 million in today's that's like 50 million, tama? Kung 1 is to 50 pesos. 50 million pesos by the end of the first year, $12 million was gone. That's almost half of their winnings. And by 2006, the win changed. After the win changed the course of his life, David Lee Edwards, he died alone, broke, in hospice care at the age of 58. Sad. Just 12 years after winning 27 million jackpot prize lottery, he died alone, broke, sa hospice pa. Diba? So, that's one of the horror stories. The next one, si Evelyn Adams Basor. Mas matindi ito. Okay, so sa mga participants natin at viewers natin na may kakilalang Evelyn, swerte yan. Okay, ito ang kwento niya. Evelyn Basor beat 1 in 15 trillion odds when she won 3.9 million and 1.4 million within 5 months. 2 beses tong nanalo. Okay, at a multi-millionaire playing the Pick 6 lottery in 1985. And 1985, that's already a lot of money. It's around 5.3 million. Okay, that's around 250 million pesos in today's money. Diba? That's a 5 million. So, she gambled much of it away. And that's the key word, no? She gambled much of it away, however, and gave away even more. Unable to control her spending, it was all gone by the turn of the millennium. In 2000, the destitute Basor moved into a brick New Jersey trailer park, according to Time. Sad story. 2-time millionaire, multi-millionaire, and then he lost it away. She lost it away. No, it's sad. Now, here's the problem with luck. Or the keyword is the problem with dependence on luck. Since luck, according to the definition, is something that happens by chance, hindi natin to kinos. It's not through our actions. Hindi natin to ginawa, kaya tayo naging successful. It is outside our control. And since it is outside of our control, we cannot repeat it. Yes? Kasi hindi natin kontrolado eh. And if we cannot repeat it, we cannot sustain it. And that is the key word. Sustainability. The ability to sustain. That is why many lottery winners are unable to sustain their lifestyle, their money, because they did not earn it. It was because of luck, not by skill. Diba? What made them successful, that's human nature. We tend to repeat what made us successful. So what made them successful is tumaya ako sa loto. So anong gagawin pagka nauubos na? Gagawin ko what made me successful. Tataya uli ako. Gamble nga yun eh. Susugal nga tayo. It's not within our control. And that is why it accelerated a lot of things that are negative, no, sa buhay ng isang tao, particularly yung gambling. That's the problem with gambling. Gambling is luck. It's not skill. And in building great enterprises, transition tayo a bit doon, you can't rely on luck. In fact, when the pandemic hit, I'm not sure if Amy's here at saka sila, they're from Labor. When the pandemic hit, I was still part of Labor, and we were like, early days to, like 2000, first week. And we were clamoring, category F tayo doon. We didn't open. Like 50% of branches were closed. Ayan. And 90% parang na-close to around parang third week of April. And we're very, kami ni Paolo, we were having this conversation, and we even came to a point na kung saan sabi namin, we're gonna be okay. Because you shut down our branches, we'll build again. Why? Because we can do it. Because we know how. That's our skill set. And that's our conversation with the CEOs I'm working with, no? Yan. Ganun kami, ma-shut down tong business ito, that's fine. Because the experiences and the connections that we have will start again and will be much more successful compared to the first time. Because we already have built the skill set and the network. Which is why I keep emphasizing, at hindi ako mapapagod dito until the day I die, to keep reminding everyone to become part of a CEO circle. Because this is going to be a bold statement. This is going to be a bold statement. If you're a CEO and you don't have a mentor or an executive advisor, and you don't have a CEO circle, you're networking, you're doing it on your own, you're gambling. You're gambling your company. Kaya ko to, nabuild ko nga to nang wala akong kasama. And that's okay, di ba? I didn't need to go to to business school, di ba? Pawido-wido lang ako. Di ba? I mean, you're gambling it, for me, that's risky. And again, we discussed last week, di ba? The decisions that a leader makes affect beyond, the impact of it affects the people beyond the walls of our offices. Diba? Hindi lang affected sa mga decision na ginagawa natin as leaders, yung mga tao na nasa office natin, kundi yung mga families na. So we have to be really careful. When we're building something, there are employees that we have or associates that we have that depend on us. And we can't gamble when it comes to building a company. We have to have a mentor. We have to have a circle. Doesn't have to be CEO circles. Doesn't have to be CEO insights. Just be part of a network where you can get an infusion of ideas on a regular basis. Regular basis meaning once every 7 days. The best CEOs have coaches. Diba? What makes us think we don't need one? The best CEOs have consultants, have advisors. What makes us think we don't need one? I have my mentors, but I have my CEO circle that I learn from. So it's very important that you become part of a circle. Pasensya na high blood ako. Sorry naman. I'm very passionate when it comes to circle eh. Ayan, nakakape rin ako. Pasensya na. Okay. So with that, Keril will be inserting chatting the link to become part of a circle. Anyway, so as we move on, okay, let's proceed. Ayan. So as CEOs, we have a vision. Diba? When we started something, we started our business, we have a vision, we have a dream. And whether we agree and admit it or not, we know deep down, we can't do it alone. Tama? We can't do it alone. We realize as we start to build our businesses, our institutions, we realize there are things that I cannot do. I have weaknesses. Si Superman nga may weakness. So what we do, we build an institution where we invite people who complement us, not compete with us. Yung strengths ko, yun ang weakness nila. At yung weakness nila at yung strength nila, yun ang weakness ko. We build an institution because an institution brings with it two things. It brings scale, the bigger impact, and sustainability na hindi na nakadepende lang sa akin ang business or ang enterprise na to. Kasi may mga ibang tao na magpapatakbo nito. That's why we need an institution, right? So let me introduce a concept called time telling versus clock building. in a book entitled Built to Last, which I have been telling everyone who will listen to me to read it. And if you don't have a copy, I will send you an ebook copy. Just message the page. It's written by Jim Collins. Yan. He talked about clock building and time telling. Now, if you're a CEO, you're a manager, you're leading a team, and you haven't read this, isa lang ang tanong ko, why? Why? You must read this. Okay, read this. Okay, so sabi ko nga nung kinuha ko yung quote, gusto ko i-screenshot ko yung actual sinabi ni Jim Collins para mas ma-inspire kayong basahin yan. So in a chapter called Clock Building versus Time Telling, sabi dito, imagine you met a remarkable person who look at the sun or stars at any time of the day and night. Titingin lang sa taas. Titignan niya yung star, titignan niya yung araw, tapos kaya niyang sabihin yung exact date and time down to the second. So it's April 23, 14:01, 2:36 a.m. Now imagine if that person, if there's a person who can do that. There's a person who has that capability. We'd be amazed at sa skill set ng tao na yon. We'll admire that person. Magaling tong tao na to. But wouldn't that person even be more amazing if instead of telling the time, that person builds a clock that could tell the time forever and ever, even after he or she was dead and gone. Yes? Mabibilib tayo, magaling, kaya niyang ituro, kaya niyang sabihin kung ano yung oras ngayon. Pero mas bibilib tayo if gumawa siya ng clock so that the ability to tell the time will continue even after he or she is gone. The keyword is sustainability. Masusustain yung capability to tell the time even after that person is long gone. And that's the clock building versus time telling is everywhere. You will see it everywhere, diba? As human beings, we're limited. That's why you can see that there's a great teacher, but there we also have great schools. We build institutions. Bakit? Because great teachers, diba? We die, no? And I was sharing this, yung anak ko, diba? First day, pa-segue lang konti, kwento ko lang si Johan. First day of school kahapon sa Kumon. And we were having this conversation nagda-drive ako, and nandun yung mag-ina sa dalawa, excited yung nanay. So sabi ni Johan, Daddy, I want to become a teacher. And then sabi ni Tidoy, yung wife ko, sabi niya, oh, I thought you wanted to be a hairstylist and a doctor. Diba? No, sabi niya, no, I want to be a teacher. I want to become a teacher. And then sabi ni Tidoy, did you know that your daddy was a teacher? And then tawa si Johan. Sabi niya, Mommy, you're so funny. Like parang me, like, totoo yun. Nagturo ako. And then I posted it. Anyway, when I posted it, my former students were commenting and laughing, diba? Parang hindi sila makapaniwala. Yung teacher nila, ito. Anyway, so yeah, nagturo po ako elementary, high school, college. Okay, going back. Great teachers, we die. We're limited because we're human beings. So we build institutions. You can be a great cook, but you can also build a great restaurant so that great food will continue to be served even after we're gone. Okay? Doctors to great hospitals, and businessman to business incubator. That's why we need institutions. This perspective is very important. Perspective is important. Now, this mindset is what separates great entrepreneurs from the rest. Okay? Because great entrepreneurs, the 14,000 here that are listening and the people in Facebook, they see themselves as architects of great institutions. Okay? They see their company as a tool that solves a customer's problem. Instead of as an entrepreneur, ang thinking, I will directly solve my customer's problem, what great entrepreneur does is he builds an institution that will solve the problem of their customer and many more, even without his direct intervention. Ginagamit niya ngayon yung company as a tool to solve a customer's problem para hindi lang limitado sa kanya. Yes, please type yes if you are learning something new. Nice, Kumon. Yes. Ayan. Yes. Solid. Power. Pinuya tayo nito, ha? Okay. Sige. Right? As we proceed, ayan. Okay, so this is what happened with Walt Disney. It's a case study of Walt Disney. No? What time is it? Oh, I still have time. So see, Walt Disney was his life's mission is to make people happy. That's his life's purpose. I want to make people happy, and he does that by great storytelling. He's a great storyteller. In fact, when he was pitching, I believe the book was Organizing Genius by Warren Bennis. It mentioned there that when he was pitching for fund to create the first fully animated motion picture, which is I believe it was Snow White. Yeah, he acted dun sa investors meeting. And the investors were so amazed at his ability to tell story. Talagang nagko-costume pa siya habang kino-communicate niya yung vision niya for the Snow White. No? And he was a great storyteller. But then he realized, Walt, sabi niya, I'm a great storyteller and that's the way I make people happy. But as a human being, I'm limited. So what Walt Disney did, he transitioned from being a great storyteller to a great business builder and built Walt Disney Company. And this was even attributed to him. Sabi rito, Walt Disney's greatest creation was not Fantasia, hindi Snow White, or even yung Disneyland. It was Walt Disney, the company, and its uncanny ability to make people happy. His greatest creation is the Walt Disney Company, so that it continues to make people happy long after he's gone. Now, that's the kind of perspective we want here at CEO Insights. Your CEOs, your business builders, ba? Yun ang gusto nating gawin. We want to build our institution to make impact and sustainable impact long after we're gone, right? So a couple of quick notes before we proceed to getting practical. Number one, great enterprises do not happen by accident, sheer chance, or dumb luck. They became great by design. And you keep hearing this from me. No, naririnig ko to sa mga katrabaho natin, no, in my formal engagement with the executive advisor engagement. People say na, sir, kaya pala ganito nangyayari, kaya pala ganito gusto mong mangyari. Sabi ko, yeah, it's by design. You know, hindi ang mga bagay na nangyayari sa executive advisory natin, hindi yung tsamba. It was by design. It was systematically organized in such a manner that it will create the result that we want. And that's what we want in your company. Hindi tayo pwedeng, bahala na si Batman, basta ako, magtatrabaho ko, tapos magiging one day pagising ko, uy, ang galing na ng company ko. It doesn't work that way. Diba? You have to be intentional. That's why we're offering principles of scaling every Friday so you get an infusion of idea. You have a CEO circle where you can work with fellow CEOs to see those ideas in real time and in different setting. Diba? You're working with builders, yung actual na nandun, hindi lang theory. Diba? They're actually doing it. So that's the first one. You want to be great by design. The second is scale and sustainability requires a shift from creating great products and programs to creating great institution. A shift in perspective. You want to build for scale and sustainability. Stop focusing, okay? I'm not saying ignore. We're just saying stop focusing on producing great products and programs and instead start focusing on building your company into becoming a great institution. Yes? So ganito nangyari kay Steve Jobs. Okay? Steve Jobs 1.0, he was all about building great products. The Lisa, the Macintosh, and then he got fired. 12 years later, he came back. Steve 2.0 now started to build a great company, which is Apple. Sabi nga ni Jim Collins, a great by choice, Steve Jobs in the early days was all about building great products. Then he disappeared and learned how to build a great company from a product creator to a business builder. And unsurprisingly, Apple came out with great products. First iPod, iPhone, iPad, Apple Store, and even after this iWatch, and then baka 2026 nga may sasakyan na Apple car. So that's the case study of Steve Jobs, right? So there's a leader shift that needs to happen when we're working with when we're all about building a great enterprise. that shift in the 3 T's. Diba? The thinking, we talk about that. Great entrepreneurs think of themselves as architects instead of just building business and making money. That's okay. But there is a shift in thinking, and then there's a shift in time. The time we spend working or building with creating great products into the time spent, how do I make this a great enterprise? And last but not the least, there's a shift in skill set. Okay? And this is what we're going to talk about in the next 5-10 minutes. Yan. We'll get practical. Okay. Now, let me be clear. I'm the first to admit, building a great enterprise, it doesn't happen overnight. Yes? I mean, sabi nga ni Sam Walton, most overnight success is 20 years in the making. So we're not gonna kid ourselves. Hindi after neto, okay, bukas great enterprise na mga businesses natin. It's not gonna be that. It's a journey and a destination. But I will give you a few things to start with. Okay? So, let's get practical. Yan. Uy, maaga. Ano ba ngayon? 36. Okay. So, the first one in building a great institution is revisit the purpose and vision. It goes back to the original vision. What was your dream when you started the company? What is it that fueled you onto entrepreneurship? Okay? Kasi entrepreneurship is hard. Diba? Sabi nga nila, I wanted to leave the 9-to-5 job. That's why I became an entrepreneur. Now I work 24/7. Nung naging businessman, di ba? I mean, kagabi hanggang 2:00 tayo naggagawa ng deck dito, di ba? Samantalang kung, it's a prank! True! Di ba? So, hanggang 2:00 tayo nagtatawa. Samantalang noon, pagkatapos magtrabaho, bala ka na dyan! Di ba? Uwi na tayo. Don't touch me in the weekend. Ngayon, may nagtatext sa akin, can we meet? Di ba? Can we meet on the weekend? Parang GG. Okay, so, we want to revisit the dream and the purpose because that will sustain us. If it's all about money, here's what I discovered. No, it's something in my experience. Again, it may not be true for all, but in my experience, if you're building a business simply for making money, you will either struggle if you don't hit your numbers in the hard times, and might fall into the temptation of doing something illegal. Kaya may mga ganun because of the pressure, we give into the pressure, we do something illegal because it's all about money lang, beyond purpose, no? Or we become successful and get bored. And that's where, we do something risky investments, to risky affairs. That's why there are CEOs na super successful but they fall into affairs. Yan. And I had this conversation with Tito, sinabi ko nga kanya, na ganun, no? Pag pera lang talaga ang ginawa mo, ang habol mo, kaya ka nag-business. Either pag hard times, you will struggle and you will end up doing something illegal given to the pressure para lang ma-hit yung number. Or pag sobrang successful mo na, parang ano gagawin ko sa pera ko dito? Diba? Ang dami kong pera and I got bored. So, yeah, risky investments, risky relationships, parang a drug addiction. No wonder, di ba? Yung mga lottery winners, diba? Kasi they were doing it, and then here comes money. Money is an amplifier. It will amplify what's already there. It doesn't change people. It really merely amplifies what's already here. If you're a giver and you win a lot of money, you tend to give. Diba? So, yeah. But if you have a vision, a purpose beyond simply making money, again, we're gonna make money, lots of it. It's just not the entire point why we build businesses. You have a vision or a purpose beyond making money. It will sustain us in the hard times. Because there's a vision. And it will scale our impact once we become successful. What's next? Diba? We're impacting a lot of lives. What's next? So revisit the purpose and the vision. And this is the theme for this month is all about leadership. And this is between you and your dream. It's not between me and you. It's with you and you alone. Do a hard check. And I would suggest how to revisit the vision. Talk to your team. Have a meeting this week. 30 minutes. I don't believe you're too busy to make a meeting to talk about the future of your company. Okay? Ask this question to the team. What do we need to do today to build our company into a great institution. Ask the team, what is our dream? What do you want our business to look like 5 years from now? 3 years from now? Just get that conversation rolling. And then after revisiting the purpose and the vision, recognize what drives results. What do we need to do today? What are the critical activities do we do that drives the results that we want, that helps us achieve the vision? Do we know? We have to identify that. And together with your team, it makes things easier. Kasi hindi na ikaw lang ang nag-iisip. Nakakapagod kaya mag-isip, di ba? Ramdam yan ng mga circle multipliers kagabi kasi brains, I need brains. When I was preparing for this material, it's so heavy, and I needed the brains. I needed to share my thoughts. I'm asking for the insight. So yeah, if you have your team with you, and then they are thinking of the critical activities that drives the results that we want, that makes life easier. Right? Ano sa? Oy, kaya pa. Okay, and last but not the least, reinforce the culture of execution. This is very important. I was talking to Amy of Laybear kahapon. No? She's a brand manager, senior manager for branding. And isa sa discontent namin parehas is most purpose and vision statement in an organization are that statement. Diba? Nasa pader lang. We have to satisfy our customers with excellent quality of products and service, providing exceptional results, and so on and so forth. No one cares. Diba? It's not really true. Okay? So a purpose and a vision statement has to be true to who we are. And the second, if they stay there without action, without execution, doesn't really matter. It's just a paper. It's a document. No? So it's our job as leaders to ensure execution. Kaya nga tayo, Chief Executive Officer. Execution, we are the enforcers of execution. Yes? And everyone says, type nyo nga dyan, Amen. Ayan, nadali ako dun. Ayan. Amen. Sige. Ayan. Sige. All right. So how do you reinforce execution? 3 things. Review the numbers. You can't execute without measurement. So review the numbers. Once a week we do this. Kami ng mga kami nila Chris na hindi na ako kinakausap after ng Tuesday kasi ayaw na mag-pag-usap pa. We do this business review. And so after reviewing the numbers, reflect on the learnings. What did you learn about last week? What worked last week? Diba? That we can keep doing. Reflect on what didn't work. Why didn't work? So we can stop doing it. And let's try something. What new thing are we going to try this week? So reflect about the learnings. And after that, reach out to your network. This is where the circle comes in. We don't want to do it alone. We don't have to do it alone. You have your fellow CEOs there who can help you get insight, who's been there, done that, and to provide the insight that we need. Diba? Bakit sosolohin natin ang pagbibuild ng great enterprise? Dami-dami nating network. Diba? And it doesn't cost us a thing, just 1 hour of your time. Diba? Hindi pa nga 1 hour, once a week. Yeah, so there. All right. So in closing, I want to share an image that you can carry in your head. So revisiting the purpose and vision. After that, you recognize the critical activities that drive the purpose and the vision, and then reinforce the culture of execution by reviewing the numbers and holding people accountable of their deliverables. Once a week, hindi pwedeng once a month, napakatagal na nun. Sayang na ang 30 days. If it's gonna be every 7 days, you review the business performance, you get to pivot quickly. The beauty of doing weekly business review is that you can strategize regularly and pivot weekly. And then you revisit the purpose, and it's a flywheel. Yan. All right. So, in closing, there. Okay. Our focus for this week is about functioning in systems. Diba? Multiplier expanding life-changing impact in an ever-increasing measure. And for us to expand life-changing impact in an ever-increasing measure, we have to function in system. Okay? We operate in system, and we use the institution as our system to constantly and sustainably provide the impact even after we're no longer there. Right? So here's what I discovered. This kind of perspective, this kind of thing that we do, it's hard to install in our organizations. Napakahirap pag-install ng performance culture, ng execution culture, ng building great institution mindset. It's very hard to install, but it's very easy to lose. No? May mga tumatango, kilala nila kung sino sila. Diba? Nawala lang ako ng isang linggo na dismantle na yung execution culture. And that's not what we want, So we have to be, as leaders, we have to be vigilant in making sure that execution starts and ends with us. So yesterday we did the multiplier mastermind. This is for the CEO multipliers, circle multipliers. They are the ones who are facilitating the circle. So si Coach RD, and this is us now. He shared the lessons he learned in birthing new circles. And he talked about his story. And we had a ball, na parang sabi ko, imagine if you get a regular infusion of inspiration with fellow CEOs every 7 days. Not just insights, but you have an inspiration that you see the success of others, and then it puts in you a message na if he can do it, maybe I can do it too. Kasi nagawa niya yun eh. Diba? Ang kailangan ko lang naman gawin, gayahin kung ano yung ginawa niya, kokopyahin ko lang. So, we want to have this culture, and we're getting, we're actually growing. When we started at March, we were 10 circles, 10 people who attended my circle, and there's one circle. Now we have 4 circles and counting. Diba? We ended the week yesterday with already 15 people. Last month we had 14 people. Yesterday we had 15. Hindi pa nagsa-circle meeting si Chris. So give or take, we might end into 20 people, 20 CEOs in circle. And our vision is to accomplish or to impact 50 businesses by April 30. 50 CEOs in our community. That's 50 business that we get to inspire and we get to impact. And imagine the lives that are affected inside that circle. Yung mga tao doon sa mga si Emma at si Tina of Comizen already has 50 employees. BK and Ian of Sellers was 100 employees. That's 100 lives, 150 lives. So imagine that we can impact them, positive impact on those lives. And we're not counting the families that came along with them. So this circle is very critical. It's critical for our leadership because our impact not only affects the immediate walls of our office, but it goes beyond the walls. So here's my closing statement, and then I'll open the floor for a couple of people who can share their insight. The fastest way to build a great enterprise is for its leaders. Lead. Diba? Kaya nga tayo leaders, for leaders to lead and build it up themselves.